and Head of Department of Soft Skills, who had done a PhD in management with almost a decade of corporate experience. Without taking much time, we would start this session now. So over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. I hope I'm audible clearly.
Yes, sir, you are audible. Your voice is audible.
Good afternoon, sir.
All right. Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon. And good afternoon to all the students. I think it's good to see all of you. And before we start, I would want to ask a very simple favor from all the students. Students, anytime you feel like asking a question on the thing that we are discussing, please feel free. आप जब चाहें question पूछ सकते हैं, कोई दिक्कत नहीं होगी उसमें. You can ask your question. You can write it on chat. One of us will see the chat and will be told the question. And ma'am, can I just request you to send me to share the screen with the PPT? I've sent you the PPT already.
Yes, sir. So wait for a while.
Sure, ma'am. Ma'am, could you make it full screen?
So please, can you wait for 2 minutes?
Yeah,
Actually,
ma'am. Sure, sure. Anytime. So till then, can I ask the students, what are your expectations? आज की workshop में क्या expect कर रहे हैं आप? क्या सीखने के लिए मिलेगा आपको? और what are we going to talk about?
Students, please ask first questions.
Hi, this is Parveen. So, I think we are looking for some kind of guidance from you, which can help maybe choosing the right path in terms of career, which field will be the best, and then you know what are the tools that are necessary. For example, someone should start the job, so what are the things that he need to prepare for himself, and which are the careers someone can go for, and how to choose one.
Right, right. And I think I have as and we can we can what is it? Yeah, I
So is PPT visible to you?
get the
So
right way
you
to
are not
go
audible.
to future in life. Okay, that's a very nice one. All right, thank you so much, Deepak sir. That helps. Uh, let's begin. So the perfect fit. I'm sorry,
Sachin sir, your voice
ma'am.
is
Were you
not
saying
audible.
something?
So your voice is not
Oh, I'm not
audible.
audible.
Yes, sir.
Is it audible now? Hello,
Yes, sir.
hello.
Hello, Sachin sir, it's
Now I'm
audible.
audible.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, it's audible.
fine.
And all of you are requested to please
All
mute
right.
your mic.
Thank you so much, ma'am. All right, so the perfect fit. Now, when we talk about fitment, what are the different types of fitment? Yeah, actually, what are the different types of places that we want to fit in? Can someone quickly give me answers on chat? आप chat पे लिख सकते हैं, you can write on chat. What are the places that you really want to fit in? Think broad. There is no limitations to your thought in this workshop. Let's think common, general there, and then we'll come back to what we are wanting to have as the agenda of this workshop. Tell me, what are the places that you want to fit in? Do you want to fit in the society that you live? Yes, you all want to fit in into that society, right? Next, you also want to fit in into your group of friends. Am I right? Am I right, students? Are we on the right track? These are the
Yes,
areas
sir.
that we want to fit in, right? Then we also want to fit in the mold of what we say as the ideal son, daughter, and all those things, right? These are the things that we want to fit in, right? Now, when we are talking about all these things, when we are talking about all such things that we are wanting to fit in, our major challenge here would be what? The requirements that we are looking forward to fit in. So, what do? We start observing. We have maybe one brother or sister apart from us in the family, so we look at it. Well, what are the things that my parents like about them? So I try to imbibe those things, right? Then friends. How do all my friends think? I'll start probably accepting their ideas. Then societal fitment. So there are many quotations that speak about how one can fit into the society, following the norms of the society, cultural fitment, the kind of exposure that the society has, and all those things. But when it comes to career, and you want to create yourself a fitment for your career, um, the equation changes. How? Let's go to the next slide and understand. So can I have the next slide, please? Well, career is not just in one direction for everyone. It's not just that everybody has to go the same way. There are different career paths different people have chosen. Yes or no? We all have chosen our own career paths. We all think this is good, and that's why we have chosen our career path. There would be many walking with us in that career path, but for us, I mean, isn't our choice considered to be unique by us? Right? It's considered unique. Why? Because our career is not according to what the world thinks. Our career is what we carry as competencies in our own self. And career is not that I finish my education, I get into a job, so I have a career. No, career is a very broad perspective. It's a very broad perspective. Can we have the change of slide?
Hello.
Hello,
I
ma'am.
think there is a technical glitch.
Yeah.
Simran, can you please coordinate with Sachin sir? I think he has just left the meeting. I think there's some technical issue at his end.
Yeah, sure, ma'am.
All of you, you are requested to please be patient and stay with us. The speaker will join us in a minute or two.
Am I audible now? I guess yes.
Yes, sir.
Can we have the PPT again on elements of career slide? Great. Now, while we are getting educated, या जब हमारी पढ़ाई हो रही होती, when we are studying, do we actually realize what we are studying for? At least till school, 10th standard, nobody realizes what we are studying for. In 10th standards or 9th standard, suddenly people start asking you, what are you going to become? And we are like, I don't know. Many of us actually have this answer in our mind. I don't know, but we can't give that. Why? Because we have been told that if you say that, people will think you are not ready. Right? And you guys chose. You guys chose, some chose, uh, arts, some chose commerce, some chose medical, some chose non-medical. Everyone around you was choosing something or the other. You chose one of it as well. Now, what is that choice based on? Is a question that was to be answered when you were getting educated. But what is the choice right now? Is this is my education, this lays the foundation to my career. This lays the foundation to my career. And I am going to be very sure with you, and I'm not going to mix my words at all. that if your education is not matching the career path that you're following, you will always be struggling. You will always be struggling because there is no way that you have the knowledge of a field and you can struggle, but there is 100% chance that you don't have a knowledge of a field and you're trying to learn on the go. So success will not come that easily. So education is the basis of your career. How? Number one, education gives you a very clear intimation through examinations, academic tasks, and all the things that you do while you're studying to tell you what are you good at, what are the improvement areas, and where do you need to build yourself. That's the thing about education. Because your education turns into what you call your technical or hard skills. Now you have been educated, you are almost finishing education. That means you have some skill set. The next question is, what do you want to do with this skill set? That's a very big question. What do you want to do with this skill set? I have this question for everyone that I talk and the person comes career. I said, what are you educated in? And the person says this. I said, so what do you want to do with it? And why am I asking you? Because the question was to me, how do I make my career? But my question first comes to you, what do you want to do with your skill set is denying on that fact. But are you doing something that relates to your education and to your skill set, or are you just pursuing a different career field because that is giving you an opportunity to go and explore outside your. Because if case number two is what you are doing, then you are a person absolutely without vision. And what is the person without vision doing? He is fulfilling other people's vision and is always dissatisfied in life. So if you want your career to be.
Okay, so your voice is not audible. Hello, dear students. Meanwhile, you can mark your attendance. The attendance link has been shared with you in the chat box. Can you wait for some time? Sir will be joining the meeting. Have you marked your attendance, all of you?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Can you be patient? Sir will be joining in 1 or 2 minutes. Simran ma'am?
All right. So, am I audible? Okay, great. So, we were talking about career, and I had told you about the four elements: education, skill, vision, interest. Now, what is most important is when we are talking about interests, we need to match it with the previous three elements. We cannot do this that we have an altogether different interest with an altogether different education with an altogether different skill set. Like an example, I am I'm an engineer and I have good skills in coding, but my vision is to open a restaurant and I don't know cooking and I'm interested in playing guitar. Do they match with each other? I don't think so. What about you? Do you think it matches?
No, sir.
Excellent. So when we are talking about that, we have to be very careful as to what we are being concerned with and uh, you know, what we are actually getting out of it. That makes the difference for us. Because if our career is not matching with our education, skills, vision, interest, then definitely we are not going to the right path, even if we have the values. Now, what is values? Values is a code of conduct that we follow. Values is the principles, the rules that we follow to develop our career. And what are the values that will never go out of fashion in a career? Honesty, integrity, loyalty, all these things, they are a classic value. Any company from 1919, from the first industrial revolution till today, every company is looking forward to these skills and will look forward to these skills for the next few hundred years. There'll be no change and there'll be no difference in them. But what are we actually looking at? Or what do we actually want to work upon? We want to work upon a very simple thing, and that is we want to find we want to find the values of ours that match with the industry that we want to become a part of. Isn't that right? We want to find the values of ours of whose industry we want to be a part of. Exactly. So what do? We need to find ourselves a match. So we want to match our values. Oh, I can't get the permission to screen share for this one. Just hold on, guys, for a moment. and I can speak. All right. So when we are talking about our values lead to something that we call achieving our goals. Now, kaise? You're getting educated, you're gaining skills, you have a vision for those skills, you club it with your interest, and you keep some values for yourself in place that I'm not going to compromise on them. And then you move towards what you have in your mind as your goals. That's your career. And if you put all these things together, your career starts going up in the upwards direction. And when we are talking about career going in the upward direction, ladies and gentlemen, you have to understand always getting a promotion or a salary raise is not the career going in the upward direction. Sometimes, oh, it's working, ma'am. Yeah. Your career going in upward direction means you have something happening which is making you more productive, more effective in the eyes of your employer. या आप अपना भी बिजनेस कर रहे हैं तो आपके बिजनेस में जरूरी नहीं है कि बहुत कंसिडरेबल अमाउंट ऑफ सेल्स चेंज हो गई है, यू आर हिटिंग द नंबर्स बिग टाइम, आप मार्केट में लीड कर रहे हैं, ये जरूरी नहीं है, बट एवरी टाइम दैट यू आर प्रोग्रेसिंग इवन अ बिट ऑफ इट, it's a progress in the career. And can you see in this picture, the steps that I've chosen are very small steps, not huge steps. You only use smaller steps regularly to climb up the ladder. You can't take a big step every time, right? Then, moving on to the next part, how do we progress into our career? ये क्वेश्चन होता है जो हर एक के माइंड में होता है, राइट? आप में से कितने लोगों के माइंड में क्वेश्चन है? यू कैन क्लिक रेज हैंड बटन. There is a raise hand button given to you. Yes. Jitendra Guleria says, Nisha says. All right, that's nice. That's nice. Now, careers don't grow overnight and careers don't become big overnight because careers are not made overnight. Overnight सिर्फ jobs आती है. आज आप एक जॉब इंटरव्यू दे रहे हो, अगले दिन आपको ऑफर आ गया, यू आर एम्प्लॉयड. बट क्या हम उसको करियर बोलेंगे? कैन वी कॉल इट अ करियर? The answer is no. Why? Because your career is not One job. Your career is not one day. Your career is not one company. Your career is long lasting. It is beyond the job. It is beyond the company. It is beyond everything for you. It is the most long lasting thing that you ever make for yourself. अगर एक सिंपल टर्म्स में बोलूं, आपका करियर आपकी लेगेसी है जो आप क्रिएट करते हो, और लेगेसी एक दिन में नहीं बनती, ब्रांड वैल्यू एक दिन में नहीं बनती. Isn't that right? We all know the story of Dhirubhai Ambani. Dhirubhai Ambani became the Dhirubhai Ambani overnight. एकदम एक रात में कि चलो भाई, आज मैं एक राह चलता इंसान था, कल मैं द धीरूभाई अंबानी बन गया हूँ, अंबानी ग्रुप का चेयरमैन. We all have seen his journey through various movies, documentaries. एक वो फेमस अभिषेक बच्चन की मूवी आई थी गुरु, which was inspired from his life. What was that? Was that overnight success for him? No. Careers are not made overnight. अगर आप career की बात कर रहे हैं and you want to grow your career, please understand you have to be in the same pathway for a very long time. You have to go distance in change in the same pathway. You cannot keep changing roads. अक्सर लोग ये कहते हैं मेरा करियर प्रोग्रेस नहीं कर रहा, मैंने इतनी सारी जॉब्स बदल लिया, मैंने ये कर लिया, I've done this, I've done that. But my question to them is, why did you change the job? Why did you change the field? Why did you change the industry? And अक्सर एक कॉमन रीजन सामने आता है, राइट? सैलरी. Careers are not made out of salaries. Salaries are made out of careers. Is that clear? You want high salary, you got to have a decorated career. You cannot say I'll have a high salary and that high salary will bring me a decorated career. No, 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 no. Your decorated career will definitely bring you a high salary. I'll tell you a story. Um, I was once at the Indira Gandhi International Airport, and I was there for some audit purpose, and I came across a very humble looking truck driver. Can you just imagine? Can you just imagine and take a wild guess? I want you to write this on chat and tell me what could be the salary of that truck driver working on the Indira Gandhi International Airport. And he was not working for very long. It was just 5-6 years he was working there. But when I heard his salary, I was surprised. His salary was 1,10,000 rupees per month. Now I know many must be thinking, चलो यार मैं ट्रक ड्राइवर ही बन जाऊं, आजकल बड़ा स्कोप लग रहा है इसमें. Right? Anybody who's thinking that way? Now let me tell you the skills of that truck driver. That truck driver had the skills of operating a truck with double engine, with two different machines working on them, and easily remove unwanted particles, rubber particles, dust particles, and all those things with the help of a machinery from the runway without harming the runway even for 1 millimeter. That was the precision of that truck driver. And he was driving a big goddamn Volvo with 20,000 liters of water behind it. And never in his 5 years of life had he ever been a problem for the airport authorities. He was the smoothest of them all. Now, what do you think he was being paid for? Was he being paid for being a truck driver? Was the payment for being a truck driver? No, the payment was for the skills he had. The payment was for the precision he had. And the payments were for the values he had. What kind of values did that guy carry? I got to know that in the first instance when I talked to him. He said one very basic thing to me in Hindi He said, "Sir, हमारा जब काम होता है ना, हम आगे पीछे नहीं देखते, काम खत्म करते हैं." What was that value? Dedication, determination. That's what we want. That's what any employer in the world wants. And he was being paid for his values. He was being paid for his skills, his knowledge. And education in reality does not just mean degrees. Education means what are you getting the knowledge about. Education could be anything. It's not importantly a degree. It's the formal training that you get about something. And what kind of education he had? He had an education of riding a truck. That's it. And you ask him the goals that he had for his work profile. He had very clear goals. He said, "Sir, on my watch, I never want a single mistake to happen on any runway that disrupts the operation of the airport because of me. This is my goal." And his journey at the Indira Gandhi International Airport was phenomenal. He joined as an operator, and trust me, he is not even a mechanical graduate. He was working as a senior operator in 2 years, and after that, his job was to train mechanical engineers over how the machine operates. He was the chief of all the operators of those machines on the airport for that vendor. Was that a growth in the career? Yes. Now let's come to the white collared part. This was a blue collared example that I gave you. Let's come to the white collared part. There are many people who would stay in the same field forever, and they would build a brand value for themselves. Yes or no? For example, what is uh, what is the biggest thing about Microsoft? That it's never going down in business. So many people tried to put Microsoft out of business, and they have the major business is still the same: computers, operating systems. Although they have come up with a lot of many products like Azure, like different kinds of products like Microsoft Cloud and all those things. But still, the first thing that we come to when it comes to Microsoft is Windows. That is the first thing you recognize with them. Why? Because they have strengthened themselves as a name in it, and they have stayed with that. Windows Vista was a disaster. Everybody said now Microsoft is about to run out of business because Microsoft is out of the game. It is the worst ever operating system made in the world. But what did Microsoft do? Microsoft came back in the game with a very strong strategy. Said, okay, all the Vista users, you get a free upgrade from Vista to 8. Connect your laptops to the internet and bring it on. And what did happen? Microsoft was back in the game. 8, 8.1, 8 extensions, and then 10. 10 Home, 10 Pro, 10 Ultimate, and now it's planning for 11. There are so many other operating systems in the market. Linux, there is Android as well now. But what is happening? Microsoft is still in the game. Why? Because that's called a career in the making. Bill Gates is still very happy with OS business, although there are many more that is working for him. Right? So you take smaller steps, you stay in the game, you be there, you show up every day, and you show up on time when competition is there, and you show up in the best shape. Right? The story of Coca-Cola and Pepsi. My God, it's ages old. कोका कोला और पेप्सी शायद आपके पेरेंट्स ने भी जवान होते पी थी, आप भी पी रहे हैं. बट व्हाई हैजंट एनीवन क्वेश्चनड कि भाई इनके अलावा कोल्ड ड्रिंक क्यों नहीं आती? जो कोल्ड ड्रिंक इंडिविजुअली निकलती है वो या तो कोका कोला परचेज कर लेता है या तो पेप्सी परचेज कर लेती है, और अब इनका सारों का प्रोडक्ट ब्रोशर बन गया बड़ा सा। ये भी हमारा, 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 राइट? But the name is what? Coca-Cola and Pepsi. Isn't that a career for that organization? ऐसे ही, ladies and gentlemen, you don't leave your field. You experiment within the field. I've seen a lot of people. Uh, I'm a BA in this subject, or I'm a BSc in this subject, but I am working in administration. मैंने tally सीख लिया and I'm working in accounts. No, map your competencies here. You are competent enough to probably do a research in a lab and help someone out, be a research assistant. Please go ahead, do that. When you stay in your field, you get the motivation to grow in that field. But what happens? We do not want to stay in that field. Why? The biggest factor, salary. We are thinking only salary. Salary is a byproduct of your efforts. If your efforts are going right, your salaries will increase. There is no one who can stop it. Okay, next. When we talk about all these things, salary, this, that, etc., there comes one thing in our mind. What kind of job should we pick that we be happy about it? Am I right? How many of you think समझ नहीं आ रहा कौन सी जॉब लें? ये है किसी के मन में ये वाला सवाल? समझ नहीं आ रहा कौन सी जॉब लें, कैसा करियर चूज करें, कैसी कंपनी में जाएं? There is a very important thing that you need to understand about job descriptions. Job descriptions are very systematically planned things जो आपको भेजी जाती हैं. And the fun of a job description is that it is, if read carefully, it can give you a lot of understanding about the organization's expectations and organization's vision. Okay. Kaise? How? Well, it's very simple. When we're talking about a job description, you have to read about certain points. Point number one, what you have to read about is, what is the job title? Is the job title matching with your education? Yes, no, maybe. आप खुद सोचिए, आप you know, you are a person who's got a job profile, who's got a profile of maybe an MBA or maybe a BA psychology, MA psychology, BA English, MA English, and you're doing a sales job, that too for a bank. Why? क्यों? Just because the bank said, अच्छा हम आपको नौकरी देते हैं? Respect your profile to get your profile being respected by others. That's very important. Understand job descriptions very well and then decide whether you want to take up that job or not. Because job descriptions are not just to tell you that a job is available, it also tells you what are the roles and responsibilities, what are the duties that you have to perform, what are your day-to-day activities, and how do you fit into that organization. बट हम क्या पढ़ते हैं? हम ये पढ़ते हैं, अरे जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शन, सेल्स की जॉब है, ठीक है, सैलरी इतनी मिल रही है, ठीक है, ऑलराइट, व्हाट डू वी डू नेक्स्ट? इंटरव्यू कब है? ओके, दिस इज द प्लेस आई हैव टू सेंड माय रेज्यूमे, आई हैव सेंट इट. And what happens? The company says, Acha, this person is so desperate, he wants to work in sales even after having this education, bulalo. Because the company knows that you have no vision, so they will make you work for their vision. Your vision is very short sighted. आपको नौकरी चाहिए. Job is not the vision that you should have. Your vision should be the career that you want. And how do you get that career? You get that career by doing the right thing. If you are studying a particular thing as professional degree, then you should be following the career path in that. And not exactly everyone from engineering or computer science engineering becomes a coder. Not everyone in mechanical engineering becomes a bike or a car designer. Not everyone in civil engineering becomes a site engineer. There are different roles that your qualification brings you. Yes, a civil engineering student or a civil engineering graduate or a postgraduate or a mechanical engineering or an MBA in marketing and HR and finance and international business, they would fit in the same industry, but there could be different roles you fit in. Why? Because minor interests could be different. You could be a person who understands marketing very well, but you don't want to go to the field, so you can choose marketing as a study field with HR, and you can be into training and development. You can train people how to market for the company. You can plan strategies. How is it going to be done? So reading the job description is very important. And please understand, there is no job in the world that makes you unhappy. You become unhappy from the job because you don't want to do it every day, because it's not something that you wanted to do. That's the problem. And when this problem is taken in consideration, we are not actually doing the right thing. We are being desperate. Desperation will not get you the right kind of job. Desperation will get you any job. And then desperation will turn into dismay. It will turn into dissatisfaction. And every morning when you have to go to the office, you will be grumpy. You will be like, oh, again I have to go to the office. Again I have to see the face of my boss over there. But if you're doing something that you're interested in, you love, these things will never affect you. Even if you're out of form for some days and you're not able to perform, you will still go to the office happy. You will try to find ways, how do I come back in form? And that's called career in the making. Build your skills accordingly so that you stay in that place. हम डिग्री पर बहुत ज्यादा फोकस करते हैं, हम स्किल्स पर फोकस ही नहीं करते. Am I right? Do we focus on the skills? Give me an answer, yes or no, on public chat. Do you focus on the skills or you focus on the education, formal education? If you focus on the skills, write skills on public chat. Very good. Very good. Shivani and Utsav are very clear with the thing. We focus on the skills. Very nice. What about others? Trust me, guys, we all are living in 2022 where degree is sometimes not important. Skills are always important. Okay, Daisy also agrees. Of course, skills. All right, that's nice answer. Of course, skills. Your degree might not be that important because nowadays companies are thinking beyond formal education. They are okay if you have any form of basic education, but they are not okay if your skills don't match the job profile. Right? So skills are the most important. Read about the skills. And till the time you don't have a the right kind of skill set for your employer, they will never hire you. They will never do. And trust me, I can promise you on that, they'll not. The biggest part that your employer is looking at is, are you a person who's relatively profitable for the business? And how will they find out? By checking your knowledge related to the business and checking whether you can apply that knowledge to the business as well or not. अब वो बिजनेस किसी भी तरीके का हो सकता है. वो बिजनेस हो सकता है रिसर्च का है, वो बिजनेस हो सकता है सेल्स का है, मार्केटिंग का है, एचआर का है, फाइनेंस का है, टेक्नोलॉजी का है, किसी भी चीज का, राइट? Are you fit for that business? Are you having the knowledge of that business? Are you having the understanding of the smaller minorities of that business? If yes, you are a first fit. Apart from that, communication. How many of you have a challenge with communication? Give me a yes, no. Communication, a challenge, yes or no? Yes, yes. What is the challenge with communication? Please, you want to unmute and speak. You can please unmute and speak. A big one. क्या चैलेंज आता है कम्युनिकेशन में, बताइए. You can unmute and speak. You can definitely unmute and speak. Please go ahead. Go ahead. अगर आप शेयर करना चाहें तो आप डेफिनेटली अनम्यूट करके शेयर कर सकते हो. क्या चैलेंज आता है कम्युनिकेशन के साथ आपको? अच्छा चलो, लेट मी ब्रेक इट अप. स्पीकिंग. हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू हैव अ प्रॉब्लम विद स्पीकिंग? Speaking skills. Oh, I am sorry. So you can write, Daisy. Don't worry. You can write. I'm reading the public chat simultaneously, so that's all right. Okay. So speaking skills is a problem? Or language is the problem? What is the problem? दिक्कत बोलने की है या भाषा की है? What is the problem with you guys? Is it speaking or is it the language in which you have to speak? Speaking. Okay. Shivani says speaking is my issue. Abbas also says speaking is my issue. Speaking. Great. So is it speaking in English or just speaking normally? General speaking are you talking about? English. See? One person says English. Only in English. Only in English. Okay. What is the problem with English? You don't remember the words while you're speaking? Is that the problem? Okay. Fluency. Great. So don't remember the words is also yes, just said that. And fluency by Abbas. Any other points? Grammatical errors, sentence formation, etc., etc., etc. Grammatical word and fluency. All right. Let's try to resolve this. Grammatically, while you're speaking, it's okay if you do some minor errors. Okay? It's okay if you do some minor errors, even if you're speaking grammatically. बट नॉट मेजर वंस. टेंस के एरर्स नहीं कर सकते हम. सो अब अगर हमें सही तरीके से बोलना है तो पहले हमें अपने माइंड को ट्रेन करना होगा, अपने ब्रेन को ट्रेन करना होगा कि इंग्लिश बोलना सीखे. तो वो कैसे करेंगे? टेल मी, व्हाट आर योर मदर टंग्स? हिंदी, पंजाबी? हिंदी, पंजाबी, ऑलराइट. डोगरी, हिंदी, वेरी गुड. ये कैसे सीखी? ये कैसे सीखी? हाउ डिड यू लर्न दीज लैंग्वेजेस? How did you learn these languages? From environment, observing, practicing? What practicing? There was no practicing. There was simply just trying to speak. Isn't that? Family. The first teacher of yours. Family. Right? Family, friends, society, this, that, etc. etc. Parents. अब ये किस मोड में सीखी, कोई मुझे ये बता देता? थैंक यू सो मच गुरसेवक, दैट्स सो नाइस ऑफ यू. अब ये किस मोड में सीखी आपने? पापा मम्मी ने बिठाकर ट्यूशन दिया था आपको, बेटा ऐसे बोलना है? नहीं ना? आई एम वेरी श्योर आप में से कई लोग अभी हंस रहे होंगे कि सर क्या बातें कर रहे हो आप. बट दैट्स द फैक्ट, राइट? देयर वाज नो फॉर्मल एजुकेशन अबाउट दैट लैंग्वेज. सो हाउ डिड यू लर्न इट? You learned it by listening. Am I right? You learned it by listening. You learned it by listening. So why is not English learned the same way by you? आप English पढ़ना क्यों शुरू कर देते हो? Why do you start reading the very first thing when you have to start learning English? And that too you need to learn to speak. So all the more reading is not useful. Don't you think so? I need to learn to speak. And I'm starting by reading. कितने लोगों को रियलाइज हुआ हाँ ये थोड़ा सा ऑड है, ये वाला मेथड गलत था? रियलाइज हुआ? हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू रियलाइज दिस? डिड यू गाइस रियलाइज दिस? I wanted to learn speaking English and I started reading English. The first thing that you have to do while you are learning to speak any language is listen and understand that language. Listening के दो काम होते हैं. Number one, it tells you the sounds of that language. Go to a young one, go to a small child and tell him a word. What will he do? He'll repeat continuously again and again and again. Right? And he will learn it. But if you tell the child, if you give the word in writing to the child and you say speak, will the child be able to speak? No. Consider yourself as that child. So what do you have to do is listen. Now आप सोच रहे होंगे, oh now sir will say listen to English songs, watch English movies. Right? ऐसा कुछ नहीं बोलने वाला मैं. I know your time is precious and आपको उसे waste नहीं करना चाहिए. So what do? Are you guys fond of collecting knowledge? आप सबको knowledge collect करना अच्छा लगता है? Yes. So there are two channels. ये दो चैनल्स है YouTube पे, TED and TEDx. आप इन्हें फॉलो करना शुरू कीजिए आज से. Watch one video in a day. 15-20 minutes का वीडियो होता है, कुछ 30 minutes के होते हैं. And इनकी हर वीडियो में एक अच्छा स्पीकर आपको किसी ना किसी चीज पर बोल रहा होता है, चाहे वो पर्सनालिटी हो, टेक्नोलॉजी हो, चाहे वो साइंस हो, कॉमर्स हो, आर्ट्स हो, किसी भी चीज पर दे स्पीक. एंड
The way they speak is very good. And what you have to do is you have to see how they speak and try to understand what they speak. But आपके इसमें subtitles होंगे वीडियो में, तो subtitles पढ़ पढ़ के जो gaps हैं उन्हें fulfill करो. And watch one video 2-3 times. आप खुद notice करोगे that third time या fourth time you can understand more than what you could understand in the first time. Why? Because your brain is now programming to recognize those sounds. And when it does, it trains you. And when you're sitting alone, आप सबसे ज्यादा अकेले कहाँ होते हो बताओ. Where are you the most alone in the world while you are still breathing? सबसे ज्यादा अकेले कहाँ होते हो? Washroom. That's exactly right. Thank you, Daisy, for that answer. Washroom. वहां बैठकर खुद से बात करो धीरे धीरे इंग्लिश में. Whispering. Whisper yourself. Whisper to yourself in English. कोई भी बात पे. That increases your confidence about speaking that language. आपको खुद को confidence increased feel होगा. Next time जब आपको किसी के सामने बोलना होगा ना, आपको याद आएगा अरे ये तो बात practice कर चुके हैं. चलो, let's shine. And you go and shine. Trust me, this works. मैं आपको शीशे के सामने खड़े होकर बोलने नहीं बोलूंगा कि क्या पता आपके घर का शीशा लगा होगा, आपके रूम में कोई बैठा है वो आप पे हंसने लग जाएगा, फिर आप प्रैक्टिस नहीं कर पाओगे. सिट इन द वॉशरूम, प्रैक्टिस. ऑलराइट. इंग्लिश जितनी आप सुनेंगे उतना आपका बोलने का तरीका बढ़ेगा. और जब आपको बोलने पर कॉन्फिडेंस आना शुरू हो जाएगा ना, ऑटोमेटिकली आपको रीडिंग का मन करेगा. और जब आप रीडिंग का मन कर जाएगा, आप पढ़ना शुरू कर देंगे, तो लिखना भी अपने आप सुधर जाएगा. तो ग्रामेटिकल एरर्स आर आउट ऑफ क्वेश्चन आफ्टर सम टाइम. प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व्ड. पेपर पे, एटलीस्ट ऑन पेपर दिस प्लान लुक्स गुड. Yes or no, ladies and gentlemen? But how much time do you need to devote to this? 15 minutes every day, multiplied by 21 days without any public holidays and Sundays. Do we have a guarantee on this one? 15 minutes every day, multiplied by 21 days with no public holidays and Sundays. Is that a guarantee? I can promise you, if you do this as I've told you, you will start working on the competition, confidence of yours with the language English. And English is not the only language important in the world. Trust me. Maybe your interviews happen in English, but when you go out in the customer zone, when you go out and face the clients, when you sit in your office, not much of English is used. Okay, so you don't need to become a master in the language. You just need to be communicative. So you can find the communication skills easily. Okay, don't over expect, don't overdo. जितना चाहिए उतना तो करो. आप क्या करते हो, ओ ये तो बहुत बड़ा पहाड़ है, ये तो ना हो पाएगा, इतनी ऊंची शिखर नहीं चढ़ पाएंगे हम. आप पहला स्टेप तो लो. Start walking, at least reach the mountain, the base of it. Don't look at the top, look at the step in front of you. All right, and you will start prospering automatically. There will be no problems in them. Right? Why? Because while you are being given a job, there are so many things happening behind it. This is called competency mapping. Why is competency mapped in the HR planning, in the job analysis, in recruitment selection, placement, performance? ये सारी competencies क्यों map की जाती हैं? Because they want to see you succeeding in the job. When a company hires an employee, a company invests heavily on the employee. वो नहीं चाहते वो employee छोड़कर जाए, but employee छोड़कर जाता है. और उसके एवज में क्या होता है? एम्प्लॉय का भी नुकसान होता है, कंपनी का भी नुकसान होता है. क्यों? बिकॉज द कंपनी वॉज डूइंग all this exercise of mapping the competencies of that employee to make them success oriented in their system, give them some rewards, give them some training. But what happened? The employee took the job, got selected, did not perform, and walked out. So कितने steps unplanned रह गए? One, training and development. Two, succession planning. Three, reward management. Four, HR planning. HR प्लानिंग ये परफॉर्मेंस मैनेजमेंट के बाद दोबारा आ गया है. 3 स्टेप बीच के गायब हो गए. क्यों गायब हो गए? बिकॉज एम्प्लॉय चला गया. Do you want that employee who leaves these 3 parts and walks out of a company? No. So what do you have to do? Whenever you get a job description, you need to understand how many competencies related to the job you have. What they are asking for, do you have it? What they are working on, can you work on it? What kind of a company they are you that kind of a person? If the answer to these 3 questions is coming out positive, go and apply for the job. You will get the job and you will be happy to work with that company. But if 2 out of 3 answers are right, one is not, you will still get the job, but you will not be happy. Why? Because you did not have the skills, or you're not interested, or you don't have the same educational qualification. तीनों कंडीशन में से जो भी होगा उसके लिए आपको स्ट्रगल करना पड़ेगा. और स्ट्रगल करके कौन खुश रहा है आज तक? खुशी तो स्ट्रगल के बाद आती है ना? So stop struggling, start winning. But for winning, प्लान एफिशिएंटली कि आपको स्ट्रगल करना पड़े और वो भी कम टाइम के लिए. उसके बाद विनिंग वाला पार्ट जल्दी स्टार्ट हो. बी सेल्फ अवेयर. डोंट अंडर एस्टिमेट योर सेल्फ, डोंट ओवर एस्टिमेट योर सेल्फ. दैट इज नॉट रिक्वायर्ड. अंडर एस्टिमेटिंग. एक सिंपल सा एग्जाम्पल देता हूं आपको. लेट्स से आप में से कोई ऐसा है हु इज वांटिंग टू वर्क विद अ वेरी गुड कंपनी. हम वही वेग वाला आंसर लेंगे, गुड कंपनी. एंड यू आर वर्किंग इन द फील्ड ऑफ अकाउंटेंसी. आप अकाउंट्स डिपार्टमेंट में वर्क कर रहे हो, सीनियर अकाउंटेंट इन वन ऑफ द कंपनीज. बट यू से आई वांट टू वर्क विद अ गुड कंपनी. एंड सडनली वन डे you get a call from a company like Oswal from Ludhiana, right? Oswal from Ludhiana. Oh my God, that's a huge opportunity. इतनी बड़ी कंपनी. Isn't that nice? आपको एक कॉल आ जाए कि we are looking for an accountant position in Oswal, Ludhiana, and you'll be you have been selected to give the interview. You'll be the happiest. You'll be so happy on that. Wow, man, this is an opportunity. I'd like to work here. या फिर हीरो साइकिल्स, या फिर हीरो होंडा, हीरो मोटोकॉप जिसे हम कहते हैं. Any of these companies, you'll be so happy. But happiness के बाद तुरंत क्या होगा? ओहो, half of you will lose the confidence. क्यों? Because when you will research about the company, you'll find everything flashy, big, so sophisticated, and you'll think, oh, यहाँ तो I'll not be able to gel in. Am I right? ये मेरी लीग से ऊपर है ना? We start self-doubting. होता है ऐसा? Anyone who has ever started self-doubting? Whenever a big opportunity knocks? Why? You start self-doubting because of one reason only, and that is you're not self-aware. You're not aware about yourself. And why are you not aware about yourself? Because you have not tested yourself. People who have tested themselves know themselves. And let me just give you a very big secret about placements and recruitments. 78% of people who are recruited in a company are recruited on the basis of how culturally fit they are in the organization. Because technical skills are not the rounds where people are mostly rejected. People get rejected in HR rounds. People get rejected in the last interviews. हुआ है कभी आपके साथ लास्ट की एक इंटरव्यू थी और उसमें हम रिजेक्ट हो गए? एंड इट्स ओके बिकॉज लास्ट की जो इंटरव्यू होती है ना, दैट इंटरव्यू इज फॉर checking if you are matching to the organization or not. Why? Because if you are different and the organization works differently, you will not be able to survive. You are a bad hire and a company की investment आप पर waste है. So the company says, no, I don't want to hire you. But that does not mean that you are not good enough. That means you are not culturally fit with that organization. And you will only realize if you are culturally fit with an organization when you start researching about the company and start finding matching points with the organization. Matching points from your attitude, not from anything else. Your attitude makes the difference. It's your attitude that makes you either a winner or a quitter. It's your attitude that makes you get up every time after you fall. And it's your attitude only which will keep you down permanently on your knees because you have chosen not to get up. कोई आपको नहीं रख सकता नीचे, कोई आपको ऊपर नहीं पहुंचा सकता, आप खुद करते हैं. It's your attitude. It's my attitude to succeed that makes me do the effort, and it's my attitude to fail that I'll try to run away from the task that is given to me. An attitude is the biggest tool that you have in your life, the biggest thing that you have in your life to succeed. Biggest. There's nothing bigger than attitude. Because if you have the right kind of attitude, ladies and gentlemen, then skill हो ना हो वो आप ले आओगे, education हो ना हो वो आप ले आओगे, knowledge हो ना हो वो आप ले आओगे, but attitude आप कहाँ से लाओगे? वो तो हम खुद डेवलप करते हैं, राइट? एंड हमारा एटीट्यूड डेवलप होता है हमारी अपनी अवेयरनेस से. हम अपने आप को कितना जानते हैं? हाउ मच डू आई नो माई सेल्फ? हाउ मच डू आई थिंक अबाउट माई ओन सेल्फ? हाउ मच डू आई नो माई goods, bads, uglies, and improvements? That makes the difference. And that is what we are looking at. Because if you want to succeed, your success is only coming on the basis of your attitude. After that, everything will fall in place. Your attitude is positive. Your attitude is a fighting attitude. Your attitude is never give up. Education भी हो जाएगा, स्किल्स भी आ जाएंगे, विजन भी रहेगा, गोल्स भी आ जाएंगे, सब कुछ आ जाएगा, एंड अल्टीमेटली करियर भी आ जाएगा. एंड उसके साथ जितनी सैलरी चाहोगे उतनी आ जाएगी. बट अगर एटीट्यूड ही नहीं सही है, देन यू माइट बी स्टडिंग फ्रॉम IIT IIMs, बट ग्रोथ नहीं आएगी. क्यों? कि एटीट्यूड ही नहीं है ना ग्रोथ वाला. समवन पुश्ड यू to fall into an IIT IIMs, you did that. Now you came out, you're on your own. There's no one to push, so you don't know where to go. Do you want to be like cattle? No. आप में से कोई कैटल जैसी जिंदगी नहीं जीना पड़े चाहेगा ना, कि जिसको धक्का दिया तो वो चल पड़ा, आवाज मारी तो चल पड़ा, या कुछ ऐसा किया तो चल पड़ा. You want to be on your own, and उसके लिए you have to have an attitude that makes you move forward. And that attitude is only coming through self awareness, and that self awareness will make you ready to face any questions in the interviews, and that's when you start feeling confident about interviews. Yes, Saurabh, you have a question. Please go ahead. You've raised a hand. Saurabh, any question? Okay. And your interviews are very simple. I mean, आपकी interviews आपके बारे में पूछे जाने वाले questions है. How many of you are afraid of interviews? Please give me a yes on public chat if you are afraid of interviews. Okay. Sirif Utsav? Okay. Shivani is also afraid. Nisha. What about others? Not afraid? I'm so happy. But if those who are saying, okay, Gursevak may be yes. Right. Jitendra, Saurabh, Gurleen, Anjali. Why? Why are you guys afraid of interviews? Just says no. That's nice. Very good. Why are you afraid of interviews? What is the problem? Rahul also says no. Very nice. I'm so happy. Afraid? Okay. Whenever you're going for an interview, I'll tell you, it's first of all, it's not question answer round. आप में से कितनों को ऐसा लगता था आज तक, क्योंकि अब मैं बोल रहा हूँ, मैं इस चीज को प्रूव भी करूंगा, आप में से कितनों को ये लगता था कि इंटरव्यूज आर लाइक क्वेश्चन आंसर राउंड्स? Raise a hand if you think interviews, if you thought interviews are question answer rounds. Okay. इंटरव्यूज और इंटेरोगेशन में फर्क क्या होता है पता है? कि इंटरव्यू में आप बातें करते हो, इंटेरोगेशन में सवाल जवाब होते हैं. And nobody is putting you through an interrogation. We put you through an interview. Yes, Rahul, that's a very nice thing that you are saying. If I get rejected, then I learn something new and I try to clear the next opportunity. But इसमें भी, Rahul, I'll tell you, why do you want to get rejected? Let's prepare well, no? What is to be prepared is knowing yourself. Last rounds of interviews में कभी आपसे technical question इक्का दुक्का पूछे जाते हैं. 1 or 2, maximum 3. But where do you start with the interview? Introduce yourself. How many of you can introduce yourself very confidently? सबसे बड़ा चैलेंज तभी आ जाता है कि ओहो, आई हैव टू इंट्रोड्यूस माई सेल्फ. अब शुरू कहां से करें, क्या बताऊं इनको? आ जाता है ना ये चीज माइंड में. व्हाट शुड आई टेल देम, व्हाट शुड आई नॉट टेल देम? नाउ हाउ डू यू डिसाइड ऑन दैट? The decision has to come only with proper practice. You are going to tell them about your skills. You can note down the points: skills, achievements, and anything about you that impresses them to hire you as a candidate. Skills, achievements, participation, struggles, overcoming weaknesses. You have to tell them all. Experience, internships, certifications, courses. You don't need to tell them about family backgrounds. You don't need to tell them unnecessary information. I am from this place. This place is famous for this. What do they have to do with that? Right? I never understand when students start their introduction, and if someone is is from Hyderabad or Delhi or Amritsar or some city like this, and they say I am from the city of Golden Temple, Amritsar. I said, so what? Are you introducing Amritsar? You're introducing yourself. The focus should be on you. I mean, आपने अमृतसर बोल दिया और सामने वाला आज तक कभी हरमंदिर साहब गया नहीं है, तो उसका दिमाग तो वहीं अटक जाएगा ना. ओहो, अमृतसर यार, मुझे जाना था, मैं जा ही नहीं पा रहा हूँ. राइट? फोकस इज गॉन. इंटरव्यूअर का ही फोकस चला गया आप पे से. अब आप बोलो उसको जो मर्जी, वो होगा ही नहीं इंप्रेस, क्योंकि उसका तो दिमाग ही कहीं और चल रहा. राइट? So focus only on yourself, your skills, your experience, your certifications, your courses, your extra activities, your hobbies, and tell them how it connects in making your personality what it is. That's your introduction. Okay. And if you get this one answer right, ladies and gentlemen, 30% of your interview is finally done over there. अब बचता है 70% जिसमें आपके आते हैं स्किल बेस्ड क्वेश्चंस, पर्सनालिटी बेस्ड क्वेश्चंस. I think if you are self aware and you know yourself, you will be able to handle them. But if you guys would want, we can have a different session on that where I can tell you how to handle skill based and you know, capability based questions, personality based questions, right? And once you are able to handle these questions and you are able to confidently interact with the interviewer, your interrogation becomes interview. Why? Because it becomes a conversation. You're no more in an interview where someone is asking questions and you're just answering. You are interacting with the other person. The other person is loving to interact with you, and that is the reason the other person will hire you, because they feel comfortable with you. They feel comfortable with you, right? Who do you bring into your house? Do you bring anyone in your house? Even when you make new friends, do you bring all your new friends to your house? You bring only those friends, those who make you comfortable with them, or those with whom you feel comfortable, right? So make the interviewer feel comfortable with you, and you feel comfortable with the interviewer. You are all going to the same office then. There's a huge chance. All right. And when you make the interviewer feel that you are the person who makes them comfortable, you become the candidate for them. The candidate. Now, what is the difference of a candidate and the candidate? Can someone tell me? Apart from the difference in articles, what is the difference of a candidate and the candidate? Yes. Abbas, you're absolutely right. The means the special one, a means the general one. Anybody could be a candidate, right? Anybody who's appearing for the interview is a candidate. But who gets selected is the candidate. Am I right? So, what do you want to be? A candidate or the candidate? What do you want to be? The. The candidate. Right. Now, let me just help you understand what is the difference between a candidate and the candidate. A candidate is just looking forward to take a job. The candidate is looking forward to build a career. Okay. For them, the company, the job, they're all secondary things. Themselves as the employee is the first thing they are caring about. हम सब ये कोशिश करते हैं कि हम एक अच्छी कंपनी में जॉब करें. व्हाट इज द डेफिनेशन ऑफ अच्छी कंपनी? आज तक किसी से नहीं बनी, आप कैसे बना लोगे? राइट? There is no good company or the best company. Every company is good and every company is the best if you are the person who's fitting in that company very well. Simple as that. Right? It's just like you're shopping for clothes. Just like you're shopping for clothes. You're carrying a body with yourself and you're going to various cloth stores finding the best fit for yourself. Right? And the HR, on the other hand, is the seller of that cloth. He's carrying a shirt or a trouser and he's giving everyone to try it. Whosoever fits in it is the owner of it. So, who becomes the candidate? The candidate is the person who fits in that uniform or fits in that trouser or shirt, right? And how do you become the candidate? You become the candidate by carrying the skills they want, carrying the requisite qualities they want in a candidate. And it's very easy. I've just told you some major things. Things like communication, teamwork, negotiation, problem solving, leadership, organization, motivation, ability to work under pressure, confidence. These are the things that any employer is looking for. Start building them up. And how to build them up? It's very simple. You have to do one skill at a time. You cannot build everything at the same time. One skill. Start with communication. पहले communication start करो, confidence अपने आप बन जाएगा. ठीक है? So you don't have to worry about that. Go one skill at a time and you should be able to do that. The next thing that I'd like to talk about as the candidate for you is the candidate is not one in a million. The candidate is the one that everyone is looking for. और हर एक का mold अलग अलग है. So don't think that, oh, I am not one in a million or I am not special, that's why I'm not going to get hired. You all are getting hired if you start believing that there is someone looking for a personality like yours. And if you don't have a personality that people are looking for to employ, then start building one. That is most important. Okay. Now, with that, I would like to give you the chance to ask me questions. I'll rest myself here and I would want you to start asking questions. So, if you have any questions, you may please unmute and ask me your questions. I'll help you out with that. Any questions? About my journey? Oh, thank you. So, I am. My journey is just like yours. I was an average student. I have completed my graduation in bachelor's in commerce, completed my master's in business administration in human resources, and then I've done my PhD after a gap of 9 years. In those 9 years, I've worked across multiple industries, but always in HR training and development and operations only. And I have started from a very basic position, and my highest position in the corporate was a assistant vice president. And after that, I joined academia because I had a serious love for training and developing people's competencies. So I joined Lovely Professional University, and I joined as an assistant professor, and now I am the head of the department for soft skills department. So that's my journey in all. Any other questions? Sure. You're most welcome, Abbas. Any other questions? Anyone?
Hello,
No
sir.
questions. Yes. Please go ahead.
Sir, I have a question that these days I am facing like a short attention span.
Mhm.
Like if I want to watch a video, then I do the speed of the video is twice. The same with the reading. Like reading a full book, I sometimes prefer to watch it summary. but it's not helping me these days in my education. So how to get rid of this problem of this thing?
See, short attention span is because your mind is distracted with something else. That's very clear. Okay. So how to get rid of attention span? It's very simple. When you are doing a particular thing, finish that up and then move to the next one. Okay. What we are trying to do is I'm doing work A and my mind is towards work C or work B or work D. Don't let that happen to you. I can't read a book because it's easy to read a summary. So I'll read the summary, finish it up, and I'll do something else. There'll always be distractions, but there is called something called self-discipline. Think about that and plan your task. Give yourself time and plan some rest in between. Sometimes attention span also reduces because we are mentally tired. It's called burnout in technical terms. So when we are burnt out mentally, our body does not allow us to work also. Why? Because it knows that you cannot take it. And we try to push it, but it doesn't work. So, if you are constantly working and constantly into doing things, I would say call for some rest. But if there is still some concentration issues that you're facing, I would say start planning and organizing your things in number of minutes that you want to dedicate to each task and follow it. And reading one book in one go is not something that you should be very inclined about. If you can read it in a few days, that's all right. All right. So try to dedicate yourself the given minutes for a task and stay in that task for those given amount of minutes. That's going to be very important. All right. Any other question? No other questions? Are you sure? No other questions, anyone? Come on, don't hesitate. You can ask me a question. I mean, this was a very genuine question that Utsav asked. Concentration issues. So if there is anything, you can just go ahead and ask the question. And don't judge. Don't think that I'll judge you for your questions. I am not. I am not judging you for any of your questions. Rather, I'll be happy if you ask some um, special questions to me where I am able to think and revert to you on the basis of my experience. General questions, I know they'll be like formality. No, no questions.
Dear students, if you do have any questions, please ask.
Kirandeep Kaur, would you like to ask a question?
Okay, Sidhra, go ahead.
No, no, sir.
Oh, you were unmuted, so I thought you wanted to ask a question.
No, no,
All right.
no, no. Actually, I want to ask students, please unmute themselves. If they have any queries or questions, they can ask.
Oh, thank you so much, ma'am. My bad. I just got confused.
Okay, not.
Thank you so much, Sapna, for that feedback that you have shared on public chat. But if you have any questions, you all can ask. I'm still here for another 10 minutes.
sir, I want to request all the students that please fill the feedback form that has been shared with them in the chat box so that we can know about their experience with us.
Yes. Please fill the feedback form, and I think Simran ma'am has also shared a test with you.
Yes.
tinyurl.com, the perfect fit 2022 underscore test. So you can please fill up that form as well. That would be really, really important. So feedback is also shared. It's bit.ly feedback ODL. And the test link is the perfect fit 2022 underscore test. So I think, ma'am, can we call it the end over here?
Yes, we can. Indeed, this was a great session, sir. And now I would like all you to go ahead and fill the feedback form and share your experience with us. I would like to thank Sachin sir for addressing the concerns of our students. We hope that this session was very great, very helpful and informative for all of us as well as for students. And we would be coming up with more sessions for you in future. And thank you so much, everyone, for being part of this session.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. And thank
Yeah,
you for being so patient with so many glitches being there. You still were
sir.
patient, all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Good.
Thank you, ma'am. Have a nice day. Have a nice day, everyone. Stay blessed. Bye bye.
Hello.